Election authorities across the US are already warning that the outcome of this year's presidential vote might not be known for days, as millions of Americans turn to mail-in ballots to avoid voting in person in the midst of the pandemic. Now they're all flooding back in, but the candidates are already at loggerheads over which ballots will be counted. Andy Rosegen reports.
It's time for another frightful Halloween. But this year, nothing is scarier for a lot of American voters than this: mail-in ballots for the presidential election.
Obviously, I'm very worried to making sure that every ballot is counted.
Donald Trump narrowly won both Wisconsin and Michigan in 2016. And this year, both states sent out nearly 3 million mail-in ballots each to their voters to ease coronavirus fears. Now, those ballots are pouring back into elections officers. But both states are among the few that don't allow mail-in ballot counting to start until Election Day itself.
The fact that ballots aren't allowed to be counted until Election Day, even though that they arrive earlier, is nonsensical.
On top of that, with so many ballots pouring in, there are bound to be thousands of valid ballots that arrive after Election Day. So how long after Election Day should they be counted? Here in Michigan and Wisconsin, that decision has bounced around the courts like a volleyball. At first, the deadline was Election Day itself. Then courts ruled the counting could go on for days. But the latest court rulings in both states put the deadline back at Election Day. And that's exactly what Donald Trump wants. He thinks mail-in ballots are rigged against him, and he wants vote counting finished on election night. His supporters agree.
Oh, I don't think any of it should count after Election Day. But I don't think the mail-in ballots should even be a thing. I think that's going to mess up the numbers.
At this Wisconsin election office, they're expecting a 200% increase in voting this year compared to 2016. And their big concern is just making sure voters understand these head-spinning changes.
It does make it a little bit more difficult, and I get why both of the political parties are trying to do. They're trying to gain advantage, and I understand that.
But he says they do expect smooth mail-in ballot counting on Election Day, as does this election official in Michigan.
The city I live in has bought a high-speed scanner, and we expect to easily get through them that day.
But the message for all voters this year? Vote early or else. Andy Rosegen in Wisconsin for Euronews.